Give thanks now unto the Most High Jah, Rastafari. It's I, Emmanuel the Nai Bingi, speaking with you today on the subject of the NHS, the National Holocaust Centre, as I've renamed it. So firstly, we have to get the emotive stuff out of the way, because I dare say, because so many of our people are employed by the NHS, it has to be said that this is not an attack on people who work for the NHS. Anybody who works in Babylon works for Babylon. So whether it be the NHS, the Royal Mail, as I'm working there at the moment, or anywhere else, you're working for Babylon. That's the way it is. So it's not an attack on them. Also, if you have lost somebody allegedly to COVID-19, then, obviously you have my sympathy. Nonetheless, let's get the emotion out of the way, because emotion colors your judgment, and we can't have that. So, who runs the NHS? If you watched my previous videos, I keep on saying that big business runs everything. Governments run nothing. Governments just run people. Big business runs government, and therefore policy also. The big business in this instance are the drug companies, the global enterprises that control us are the drinks companies, the tobacco companies, the drug companies. These are the people that control us, or try to. So that's why governments introduced drinks, alcoholic drinks, that would be attractive to children. That's why white people in Holland developed a weed that would actually harm young people's minds, as opposed to open young people's minds, which is what the weed I smoke does and has always done. So COVID, as I've already said before in another video, is part of the depopulation agenda. Bad health kills. Yet, whenever I've had to go to a hospital, or whenever I've had to go to the doctor, which give thanks now is unto Jah, King Selassie I, doesn't happen very often, I see doctors going outside to have a cigarette. I see fat nurses, way overweight, wobbling about the place. And I say to myself, what kind of an example is this to the people if you claim that you want people to be healthy? You want people not to need your National Health Service, not to need the drug companies' drugs. The truth of the matter is, you encourage people to eat shit, to smoke, to drink, and basically to live for today and not even worry about way down the road when you're older, because the NHS, at the end of the day, will keep you alive. You can be a sack of shit with absolutely everything wrong with you, but the NHS will keep you alive, as opposed to stopping you becoming a sack of shit. So the drug companies, GlaxoSmithKline, Pfizer, and all the rest of them, they're the ones who bribe GPs with freebies holidays, and what have you for prescribing their drugs. I used to be a salesman back in the day, high level, JVC, IPC magazines, and I once considered becoming a pharmaceutical rep because they're pretty high up in the order of sales representatives, until I realized that the that it's not ethical at all. And basically they set about bribing GPs to use their drugs, as the same pharmaceutical companies will bribe governments to use their vaccine as opposed to somebody else's, or to approve their vaccine quicker than somebody else's, or use it other than somebody else's. Such is the corruption. So the model that the NHS gives is not one of health. It's one of do what you like, get as sick as you want. We'll keep you alive in whatever state, but we will keep you alive. And this funds everything from the hospital porter to the cardio surgeon and everybody in between. Vaccine companies right now are dictating to countries as to how much they should pay for their vaccine, how much they should get, and who should get it first. Again, completely unethical. I can't get my teeth seen to if I get a really bad toothache without paying. But I can take my 15-year-old son tomorrow to the doctor to get his gender reassigned, get him in hospital, make them do what they have to do to turn him from a boy to a girl. All that and the huge expense of doing that, I can get done for nothing. But I can't go to the dentist for a toothache. Likewise, if I can't read a book anymore because my eyes are failing, I can't go to an optician and get my eyes tested and a pair of glasses set for me. Yet, somebody who wants to become a man from a woman can do that and get seen to quicker than anybody else can get seen to. Such is the corruption and the priorities of the National Holocaust Center. So, Tuskegee has only just hit the news. Right up there where my DVDs are, I have a DVD called Miss Evers' Boys. Miss Evers being the head nurse in the Tuskegee experiment. And it is basically an experiment of germ and bacterial warfare, which was tested on I people. People are waking up to that fact now. But even with this COVID, indirectly and directly, they've tried to blame I for it still. For they're saying that we're far more susceptible to it than they are. I don't believe that for a minute. If it is, then that's the way it's been engineered, which is probably nearer to the truth. Now, in saying that we're more susceptible to getting it, what they're indirectly saying is that we are more able to spread it also, and we are more likely to have it and therefore to spread it. Therefore labeling us as people who should be prioritized for the vaccine because we're twice or 30% more likely to get it. But they also say that men are twice as likely to get it than women. But you don't see men getting prioritized in terms of vaccination, do you? More corruption. Personally, all this is to do with compliance, propaganda and compliance. This country has always slated countries like China or Iran in terms of population control, mind control, and everything else. And yet, what persuades people to comply quicker and more effectively than fear? People are shook. People, they see you approaching and they get out of the way as if you have that leopard bell around your neck and it's clanging away. People are shook. People will jump at the vaccine. People will pay for the vaccine. Such is the fear out there. And when people are scared, they comply. So, I can't tell you, don't take the vaccine. I am telling you that I won't be taking the vaccine. It's not that I don't believe in COVID-19. Yeah, I believe in population control and in man-made diseases in order to achieve that. So yes, it exists, but it's not their vaccine that will keep you alive. It's good health, good practice, and Jajafari that will keep you alive more than their vaccine. So ban their vaccine, ban them. I won't be taking it. You do what you think is best for you. I man do give thanks unto the Most High, Jah and King, King Selassie I, Emperor of Ethiopia, Jah and King.